mazee nimeona mosquito.
Okay, sorry.
So kiniona nashinda nikifanya hivi ujue ninawashwa na kitu.
I'll never grow up, honestly. I'll never grow up.
Mkono wa bwana.
I can't. You see.
Yo.
Hi, Eugene.
Yes.
Wagwan.
This is the Post-Nut Conversations
It is.
podcast, episode 7 of season 1. We are back.
Like we never left. I had to say that.
But we left for more time than we needed to. Anticipated to. But a lot of
Abakuk.
nimesikia grinding and I'm like, anyway, guys, mkisikia kuna grinding in the background, again, we are in a construction zone because every podcast requires us to be recording in a construction zone.
Just for now, though.
Yeah. So we took a break. We are back. It has taken us a lot of time to get here, which is, should I say, okay. In between that, a lot of things happened.
Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
There are a lot of personal things, so I probably won't get into them. Budum.
God.
Hi, this is Eugene.
Hi, I'm Emma.
And this episode
is sponsored by Hasbury and Goofy 1.
That's 1.
Yeah.
Tafadhali subscribe to the channel.
Share.
And
give us feedback as well.
Na najua many of you have still been listening. Even when we're on break. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, I got so much feedback after us guys took a break. I'm like, come nangoja tende break, guys.
I think guys,
is everything okay at home?
I think guys prefer binge watching and
I'm
listening.
those kind of people, honestly. So I understand. But also we'd really like the support. Like you listen as soon as it comes out. But also binge, no one
stopped you. Tafadhali also share something that you may find insightful or
not really. But just don't roast me or him. We're very nice people.
Me, I can take a roast.
Hey, I'm a child. No.
Acha tu nisijiseme. If you see us sipping drinks, tafadhali, they are not sponsored. So nitajaribu kuficha labels as much as possible.
Najua tu maji ya uzima.
Emma anakunywa maji ya uzima.
Yes.
And today's episode is...
Tell us, what are we talking about?
Drum rolls. Today's episode is about romantic relationships.
There's something I said to you when... You remember the day we'd gone for a walk? I can't remember what I said, but it was a very catchy line.
It was supposed to be the name of this episode, actually.
Yeah, supposed to be. But now, how are we doing?
I've sent it to you in the group.
Oh, sorry.
Just look at it. The list of
but no,
topics.
you'd have to cut out this.
It's okay.
I can see. Wow, okay. Oh, you sent it now.
Yeah, I've just sent it. What was the name?
I see. Taken or taken for granted.
The name of this episode is Taken or Taken for Granted. In the context of relationships. Wow.
Let me just laugh because
both of us have lived in Nairobi.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And apparently it is the capital of...
Hose, for lack of a better word.
Capital of hose?
Yeah. It's capital city of hose, man.
Well, I wouldn't call it that, really.
What would you call it?
Okay, let me be touchy-feely kiasi. Yeah, I think it's a capital of a lot of broken hearts.
Okay, I'd go with that.
Yeah.
Actually, I take back my statement. I would hikey go with that. Yeah.
Because if you are remotely on Twitter, if you are remotely on Instagram, or
even
Facebook,
your WhatsApp status,
even your WhatsApp status, you can see a bunch of
heartbroken folk that our hearts go out to you. But I'd like to reference an episode 2 where we were talking about friendships and family in terms of relationships. Yeah.
And there's something I said which I learned from a friend of mine. Relationships nurturing relationships is a skill.
Oh yeah, that's fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a skill that is not taught. It's not something that you'd find on YouTube per se, but so how is it a skill? That's the big question. Um, Talking to people is a skill. If you have had a chance of reading a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Talking to Strangers, you'll come to realize that a lot of people communicate in different ways, depending on their cultural background or
Personalities as well.
personalities, their current environment, and whatnot. So as a result, you may find us in the same environment like you and I are speaking right now, but we're not communicating.
Hatuelewani.
Hatuelewani. And that could be from something that's so tiny as, you know how Kenyans usually negotiate. Uongezi kitu ingine. No, it's usually a question. Uongezi kitu ingine.
Yeah, like what else?
Like what else? Instead of just going straight to the point, niongeze mi nitakuwa sawa. I get. So even negotiations are usually sort of a dance with
the devil, like
a dance with like the negation of words, the negation of a sentence to mean something else.
Okay.
It's the same way naweza kuuliza kwani unipendi.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
you get
it now.
like it's usually a negation of the statement to try and mean something else.
Roll sides. Yeah, true, I get that.
Since we're on the post-nut conversations, I think it's only
right
to get a little deep.
That's what he said. It was right there, honestly. It was really right there.
I've had my fair share of failed romantic relationships. Fair share of broken hearts, fair share of breaking hearts, because there's always two sides to any story.
Yeah, but yeah.
I feel like my sound escaped.
I can still hear you though.
Yeah. So some of the key takeaways that I have learned is sort of also goes back to like the episode tulifanya na kina Wahome about boundaries, about principles, about non-negotiables. You get. So, and these things are things that are true to you. They don't have to be true to someone else.
To anyone else, yeah.
They only need to be respected by the other person, right? Kind of, what boundaries do I have? I should ask you that question. What boundaries do you have when it comes to romantic relationships?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Brain fart.
A few moments later.
Quite a number, honestly. Quite a number. One, I can't. Let me tell you. Okay, yeah, I'll get to that later. I don't like moving or changing my prior calendar, like in terms of planning myself to accommodate you. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, it may come off as rude, but say me I've planned on going out with say who Wambui that day, and then you come tell me, I know you can't go, and you already know that you can't go out with boobs because I want to take you out for dinner. I started to appreciate that. It was there before, then I messed it up because of someone, and then I've gone back to it because it was working so well. Because also you seem too available to the person. I'm not saying being available to the person is bad, but when you're starting to get to know the person, or when you guys don't have a defined relationship, it's very important to not be too available because they'll take you for granted. But certainly you're not being hard to get or something. You're there, but you still have time for your friends and stuff. Because it took at a point for me with that human being, I didn't have time for my friends. It was just me and him. And then my social life died because I was always with the person. Then when him and I ended, it was like, what the fuck happened to my friends? And it was honestly my fault. I can't blame them.
So, which brings me on to a question that I always ask chicks who have been in relationships or get into relationships, or who are in relationships
or situationships
or
even.
situationships really.
Mhm.
Like, why do chicks usually cut off their friends when the situation arises such that you're in a
It's the
relationship?
worst thing you could do to yourself. Okay, I'll speak for myself personally as a person. At that point in time, I was doing it unknowingly. One, two, the person was always doing things for me or taking me places that I'd not been before, and I always wanted to be the person
Yeah.
with the person. They'd become a need, not a want. And
Mm.
let me not lie, that's the worst thing that could happen to you because it
Uh,
can be very toxic. Actually, it's going to be very toxic eventually.
because you are dependent
You're
on them.
dependent on them, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't be dependent on anyone.
On the emotional connection that they
Yeah,
give.
it's wild as fuck if you ask me. Yeah.
Well
It's-
put. Well put.
Yeah.
Don't let your mother hear you cussing on the internet.
She probably will because they're listening to this thing over the weekend, and I'm just like, what? Nikama see you already.
Which brings me on to the next point. Now that we are putting ourselves out there, and there are people in our families, in our friend groups, in our people who look up to us and whatnot.
People who've employed.
People who have employed us look up to us in a certain manner.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to tell you guys, it's okay to have a different life.
It's very much okay.
It is
very
okay
much
because
as it should, honestly, because you can't be that one person constantly.
yeah, you
It's
can't.
not possible. I don't think it's possible.
No.
Yeah.
You can't live up to other people's expectations
That's no.
and leave yours on the table.
Yeah.
So even if your folks are listening to or watching what you're doing, and they're like, kuja tuongee kidogo, you're like, no, like,
In fact,
it's your decision, first
there's
of all.
something he said to me today. Like the opinion matter. Okay, the opinion. You said something. Opinion is
Something in the lines of
opinion is
the
there,
opinion matters,
but
but you shouldn't really take it to heart,
exactly.
right? Like, you should not
You take
prevent
you understand where they're coming from, and you listen to them, and you acknowledge that they've said that. But if you feel like it's working for you, you don't exactly have. I mean,
have to settle into that.
Yeah, into that. Conform. You don't have to conform to it.
Yeah, you don't have to conform to it.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of my boundaries, or principles, depending on how you're looking at it. Mi nikiamua nafanya kitu, nafanya something in a certain way. Your feedback is valid.
Yeah.
As my partner, but I wouldn't stop doing it
because I laugh because sorry.
I know why you're laughing. But I wouldn't stop doing it because of the fact that you're not comfortable with it. Sulinipata hivi.
Only like okay, I'll accommodate you in my life.
Yeah.
To be very honest, I will do all I will compromise. Of course, in relationships, you have to compromise. There's no way in hell you're coming as person X, Y, and you're not meeting in between.
Yeah,
there has to be a common ground for us, and I have to do things for you and vice versa. But don't expect me to stop showering because you don't shower. That kind of thing. Like that's an extreme.
Yeah,
but
that's an
you get
extreme
what I'm
example.
saying, yeah? You don't expect me to stop going to church because you don't go to church. I frequently go see my folks. So if you're not close to your folks, I'm sorry. If I tell you I'm at my folks for even 3 weeks, because there are times I go there for like 3 weeks, please understand I'm there. I am. Imagine I am. Like kila time my mom does this breakfast thing for me. And kama kesho najua naamkia hiyo breakfast.
It's the simple things, Emma.
Also, hold that thought. But yeah, like don't expect me to conform to everything that works for you. Because I also have a life. I had a life before I met you. And also, what are you doing to accommodate me in your life? Yeah.
So individuality is also one very important key thing that
key. And I feel like that's one thing people lose when they get to starting relationships. Because you're in that honeymoon period. You want to please a person constantly, which honestly is allowed. But while you're in that phase, kindly remember who you are.
Kindly.
Like polite reminder. Remember who you are and who they are, and have a life separately. It's very important Because imagine you and your babe mnashinda everywhere every 5 minutes together.
Nafuatana mpaka kwa choo.
I feel like that can be too much. Unani suffocate. Unani suffocate, please. But are you again I say this because I was there, like been there, done that. I personally as a person would not recommend mocha.
So why do you think people are hurt?
Comes down to how we were brought up. What we saw our folks go through.
Definitely that's has a huge influence on again how we build our relationships. Because the people who we learn from first are usually our folks, our guardians, our whatever the case your situation is. And Neliskia, you've ever heard of the phrase that the first point of trauma is always your parents.
Always.
Always your
Yeah,
parents.
that's no doubt. Yeah.
It may be intentional or unintentional,
but it's still there.
but it's still there. It has to be acknowledged. If you were to ask me why I think people are hurt,
Eugene, where people hurt.
maybe it's because of that reason of we see it and we want to replicate it.
I was going to say that as well. There's that of like the trauma we get from the folks, and what we see is what we want, and we forget that the things we see are not always true.
Yeah, the things you see are not always true.
Yeah,
and also, there's a concept that I saw on the psychology of money. I haven't had a chance to read that book.
it's not me, it's life. Imagine, but I'm almost done with my second book this month. Okay, this year. So I'm doing well.
What are you reading?
How to become a badass.
A badass. Mbona unasema kumenyenyekea?
It's true. It's
book is
a
badass.
good one. Yeah, I got it as a gift from my best friend Boy, and it's amazing. Yeah.
So one of the chapters there, the beauty about that book is that you don't have to read it in succession in terms of
like any chapter and you're good to go.
chapters and you're good to go. As long as you make sure you just cover.
I can do that one.
Cover most of them. So there's a concept in there. It's called like the concept of having enough. Now, social media didn't come to help anyone. Not
for shit.
Not really. It really depends on what you're using it for.
Yeah.
Please subscribe.
Yes, guys. Hi.
It really depends on what you're using it for. But when you're using it for a point of comparison, a point of showing off, it sort of takes away from the essence of the relationship. It should be enjoyed by two people.
Yeah.
Right? And once you include other people in it, maybe from the general public, okay. Excuse me. Niggas, yeah, brown bottle.
Enemies.
So once you start including external forces, you sort of lose control of what you guys have. I've never understood why people have to explain to strangers on the internet why the relationship did not work out.
Didn't work.
It's such a personal thing and it could drag you down for such a long time.
It is. But I feel like, sorry to cut you short, but I feel like people who explain or feel they need to explain why the relationship didn't work out is people who put the relationship out there.
Out there in the first place.
Like celebrities, that's their kind of life, you know? They make money off it. So, off of it. So, yeah.
Well, for me, it would be a tough pill to swallow to think that would be my life.
Tough to swallow.
Ems.
Oh, sorry, it was right there.
I think it would be tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
If I had to imagine that would be my life, because I put it out there and now it's crashing and
you don't know how to even deal with it.
I need to deal with the feelings myself, but I also need to deal with your feelings as the audience.
And how because I don't like that you broke up. Bro, I don't give two shits, man. Speaking of, there's this thing of people our age and younger. I feel like it started with people slightly older than us guys, but people our age, you know, our generation and younger, excuse me, have this thing of having, you know, posting your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner at that point in time, your FWB, blah, blah, blah. What do you feel about private relationships. It's not secret, it's just private. Like if you see me with you, I mean if you see me with the person, you know we're dating. Like everyone knows I'm dating this person. But us guys don't have our photos online, or we don't post our shenanigans online.
That's always been the case for me.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you would have found. Okay, if you followed me for a very long time, you'll notice that hata picha zenye you delete from failed relationships inaweza kuwa tu ni moja ama mbili. You might not even notice that
Yeah.
picha moja ime lost from my profile. You know, and I really value the
Thank guys, sorry.
sorry, I really value the privacy. And okay, let me just say that I really value the privacy that comes with. It's something that I've put in the relationship.
Yeah.
Like nimesema, okay, so this is how far we're gonna go. If we're gonna expose ourselves,
Exposing.
let's pause for a minute. Someone drilling.
A few moments later.
So privacy for me is important because
People don't need to know. Honestly,
people
for me,
don't
people
need
don't
to
need to
know.
know the kind of shenanigans you're up to. Honestly.
Yeah, especially if what was I going to say? Especially if we are not close friends, we are not family and whatnot. You don't need to know my password.
You've said so many things. I'm like questions, but the questions in my brain, like question marks. Before I forget, yeah. I've forgotten one about close friends. No, before that, is this thing where your partner decides to post you. It doesn't have to be on the TL or something. It could be a story for 24 hours. How do you feel about that? Okay, before you answer, for me, I feel like it comes with some sort of joy because you know the person is proud to be with you. But also, nakwanga tu ukoshoni mas.
Ukoshoni must.
Ukoshoni mas, because your people will come back to my account and look for me and my cousins and my mother's friend who is not who I don't even know, you know, because social media is trash, honestly. It's amazing, but it's trash. And then this thing of posting to your close friends, for example, on IG, your close friend will screenshot that or record the video and share it to other people. So, oh no, I don't know about posting on social media, to be very honest.
Mine is simple. If you don't want to go down a rabbit hole,
Don't do it.
Don't just
Don't do it.
do it.
But then again, we have this unfortunately, there's this satisfaction or just satisfaction. This thing that comes to my brain where if the person posts me, hata kama amebloka watu wote wengine na mimi pekee naona, this thing of, you know, it feels nice that he's proud to be with me or he wants to put me out there into the world. But then deep down, I'm like,
which I don't mind. Like, should I say most of human civilization came up in the last 100 years?
but
And we're still figuring out a lot
figuring
of
out
shit.
so much.
Social media has
yeah.
been around for less than 25. So
Like
that's a very short time to.
I'm older than
At the very
Not
least,
some-
you're
at the
older
very-
than social media.
yeah. If I was to offer nothing in this world, there's that. At least she was
So-
older than social media.
I don't think I mind. But there are expectations that come with it.
I mean, yeah.
Which also brings us to the conversation about managing expectations whenever you're in a relationship. So managing expectations means talking about the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Things like I know money always comes up as
Finances
number one.
are even like not even in romantic, in all sorts of relationships, honestly. Finances are key. Yeah.
Finances are key. I don't want to say favorite color.
What? What?
Kuna watu bado uliza favorite. By the way, kama bado unauliza favorite color, you need to up your game.
I feel
What's
like you'll know it eventually. No?
Do you really even need to ask what your favorite color is? Like I feel
not
like
ask,
it's such an
but maybe no.
an antiquated question.
Honestly, I don't know because 90% of the things are not even my favorite color. 90% of the things I own. Mm-hmm.
But I think now, since we're in that topic of the sensitive stuff, money, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this to incite anyone, tribe is something that comes up a lot in.
Let me not
in
lie,
our
I'm
cultures.
those people. I'm those people, Hanky.
Which
Yeah.
at some point I was thinking, I'm like, what the hell? And then now as I've grown up and I've seen some of my friends getting married and the kind of things that happen
No,
in
wait. Sorry, I feel like I need to correct you. It's not mostly okay. It's tribe, yeah, but mostly the culture.
culture, not
It's
tribe.
culture, yeah.
Yeah. So friends getting into relationships that involve outside Java.
Uh-huh.
Yes. They
Yeah.
involve from extended family,
Yeah.
uncles, aunts, ninis.
Hectic.
It can be quite hectic if, should I say, the cultures are not compatible.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
There are some cultures that when they intermarry, they hawaelewani because the hierarchy of authority works
It's
very,
very
different.
Very differently.
Yeah, and trying to mix and
match
match
the
that
two,
might not necessarily work out for you too.
And guys, please note, we're not saying that you don't get into a relationship with someone who's a different from a different type than yours.
Yeah.
It's just that from what I understand, because I have relatives and friends who've, intermarried, the process and from what I've heard is very tough. And some of the relatives may not take you in as you expected. And
So what happens when they don't take you in?
you either from I know someone who's done that. They literally cut off the family.
And continue
With
their
the marriage.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boy, aren't they doing well. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of them. I really am very proud of them. And then the most fortunate or unfortunate thing is the folks of the babe, because the babe is the one who's from a different, the outcasts tribe. The folks are the ones who are looking for her now because now they have money.
Well, now the couple has money.
They're like, that's so much money. It's wild, honestly. Shukisha. It's extremely wild. But I was like, that's sad. But if necessary, do it, honestly. Because you feel like this, your future is with this person. So I'd hate for it to happen to me. But, if
I would
you're
hate for
happy,
it to happen
because I'm like, my folks. And B-Rose, I love those ones too much.
I'd hate for it to happen to anyone close to me because it's something that I've seen recently.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I won't get into the details maybe after the podcast. But I saw how one family alienated the other because of something that happened in between them.
That's quite unfortunate, honestly.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. And when that reference of we don't only date in Java, we date even the extended family, came from a friend of ours who we went to visit. Akatuambia, it's something that we mostly overlook because we, us, we're just stuck in our ways. We don't want to include the extended family, as in najibamba tu kwanza, alafu we see.
And then later
you guys are in too deep. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that, and then I've just remembered. My mom, again, reminder. My mom and I talk about so many things.
Yeah.
And I remember she I feel like my sister and I hear these words every single time. Because, my brother is basically married. Venye niko anajaribungi kusema, but we're like, hata even the girlfriend note. But guys, we know where this is headed. But anyway, my mom always says, when you get into a relationship with someone, don't get into it having in mind that you might get out of it. Like, you're in a relationship and you might get married to that person. So are you sure that's the kind of person that you want to get married to, settle down with? And keep in mind about the family, the extended family. Are you sure that's the kind of family that you want to get into? It's the way nowadays, unfortunately, our generation, we may get into a relationship, better yet, a situationship, and we're like, it's just for the time being.
How is that better?
No, better yet in terms of an example, not
okay.
better yet in terms of situation.
In terms of situation.
Yeah, no, in terms of example, a situationship, and it's meant to be for the time being. Like, me and this human being are just for like a month. Then turns out you have a kid with the guy, and
there's a thread I saw on Twitter sometime back at what did your ex give you that you cannot get rid
a child
of? And then
I swear to God, a child. I'm not a fucking child. After that, a trauma. please. Okay, that's dark, but
That's dark.
just or both, because it can be both. And when you're getting into these things, think about. I'd say this to my 24-year-old self:
Uh-huh.
get into a relationship or a situationship where if shit went down with this person, you wouldn't mind getting into a lifetime commitment with them. I don't mean getting married. It may be a kid. It may be this thing of I'll see you forever in my life. Like I love you maybe, but you're not a person I'm going to end up with. I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense because I think for me the relationship part is not usually the issue. Just like you said, you want to make sure that you're going to be in good terms with this person
Yeah.
for, let me call it, a lifetime commitment. So as a result, it's not usually that the relationships is the issue or relationships are complex. The human beings themselves are complex.
Wild is a word that you
Leo
use.
naweza
Yeah.
amka tu na moods niseme sitaki stori zako, kesho nakutafuta kaa
Psychopath tendencies, if
nilikuwa
you
nataka
ask me.
kuquote ile line ya Nyash, kesho mtanitafuta kaa pitu na ni Sunday. Hiyo Sunday
Well,
hiyo Sunday ni mimi nimeongeza
but I get like your zote zimefungwa, bro.
na kemi zote zimefungwa
And
mazee.
it's the third day.
The third day.
Yeah, I mean like 72 hours. Girls get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. Oh my god.
So now the fact that the human beings themselves are complex, just adding two complex equations to each other and trying to see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Now that's one way of doing it. It's haphazard. It may have worked for some people.
I mean, if you're happy, you're happy.
Yeah, if you're happy, you're happy. But for majority, it has not.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Myself included. Yeah, in previous relationships. I mean, that's where I am. You know where I am.
Yeah.
So now it comes back to
I know you guys are asking, Connie, where is he? I can't tell you. Bribe me. Send them pesa.
send them pesa.
Send
By
them
the way, kuna
pesa.
till number hapo hivi, send them pesa. Donate to the post-match
Kindly.
conversation.
Yeah.
So now it comes back to people always say that if you want to get ahead with a romantic relationship, you should always communicate.
Always. Communication to me is paramount. Like cap. I mean no cap.
What do you think is the last hardest topic you've had with someone you've dated?
What are we?
What are
Yeah. I mean, for me. Okay, not what are we. We knew what we were, but do we want the titles?
why are people afraid of the title?
I was not I'm not afraid. I don't mind titles. I really don't. But I feel like it comes with so much societal pressure in terms of what you're meant to do, the kind of thing you're meant to be like in public, what you're meant to be doing, how you're meant to be behaving. And if you're happy, we're happy. We have to have, am I your girlfriend? Are you my boyfriend kind of thing? But me, I'm your girlfriend. Oh yeah.
Anajua.
If you know, you know. But the world doesn't need to know. Like we're dating, I know you're in a relationship with that person, but do you actually have to tell the world that I'm a boyfriend, I'm the girlfriend?
For me, no. If she's comfortable doing it, I wouldn't stop her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've lost my train of thought.
What are we?
What are we?
In terms of like the hardest conversation you had with your person.
Well, I don't even know how
I
to.
can't recall.
I don't even know how to rank them.
Oh.
Yeah, because the person who told me that nurturing relationships is a skill also went ahead to teach me some of those skills, and they mostly involve having hard topics, speaking to hard
Conversations,
conversations. one of them, okay, I've mentioned some of them, which are boundaries, principles, non-negotiables,
Yeah.
compromises. Um,
Okay, compromise. Yeah, but
yeah,
negotiables. I feel like compromises fall under negotiables
yeah.
somewhat. Yeah.
Now there's money, there's family, there's friends, there's careers.
Yeah. Oh, that's another topic.
Yeah,
Yes, careers. Yeah,
careers.
because one works in Timbuktu, the other one works in Timbuktu.
How
So
you gonna make it work? Is it worth
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, things like those.
But you say that now, and I feel like my person and I have had those conversations only in different manners, like perspectives. Because I don't know how to phrase this. You know how I am with my friends, yeah? We talk about anything. Tunaweza kuwa in the middle of a shot and I bring up something, we talk about it and it's over. Keep in mind this person is my friend. So that those are the kind of conversations that we have. So I wouldn't have like topics of things we've discussed and they were very tough for me, except that the what are we conversation.
The
Because
water.
everyone knows us as, you know, watu wamejuana for I'd say roughly 12 years.
12. How old are you?
I was young. I was enemies. Actually, don't mind saying my age. I'm 26. Yeah. But guys, another thing. I just remembered I was having this conversation with the person. This thing of relationships, yeah. One, what the fuck is love? To be honest. Two, how do you know you want to end up with this person? Okay,
now-
none of us are married, but I feel like we're headed there sooner than we think. But yeah.
So I think for your first question, what is love?
This is
Baby,
love,
don't
this-
hurt me.
Oh God. No more.
No more.
Oh God.
I've come to believe that love is a binary decision. It's a yes or no. It's I love you or I don't love
Yeah.
you. Right. And when I love you, it's I'm giving it to you, giving all of
Sorry,
it to
rewind. How do you know you love someone? That's my question.
you. You decide that
No.
you decide that this is the person that you want to spend your life with.
Wait. So you decide you want to spend your life with that person, then you start loving them?
Yeah.
Bro, I feel not. I feel like you have this.
How would an arranged marriage work then? And why do they work in the first place? Have you ever asked yourself that question? I would love to interview if any one of you out there, by the way, is
In an arranged kindly.
please
'Cause I
DM
feel
us. By
like-
the way, we'd like to have a conversation
Yeah.
with you, even off camera.
Very
It's okay.
important. Just to enlighten us.
Just to enlighten us. Like there's a, I think
Sorry,
I
I
feel.
thought this babe was not drinking. Sorry,
Whether you're drinking, Misha.
She lives in protest.
She lives in protest.
Oh God.
Now it being okay, let me put it like this. There are certain things that we have come to grow up with that have allowed us to cut should they say cut through the bullshit or cut through the information ocean
Snake it.
and
if you
only
mean.
be able to identify there are certain things that I would like in a person, perhaps
person.
due to the kind of relationships that we have been in the past, the things that we have seen in our friends,
Yeah.
or our environment and whatnot. So, what is it that usually matters to you when you see a person? Attraction usually starts from visuals,
From
of
the
course.
from the word go. Like you see
Yeah.
that person in the movies, that's in the movies,
Yeah,
at the
and
corner of the bar, and you're like,
but
God damn.
you shit you happen like in
I
the
s-
movies.
Let me
but
not
they-
lie. It's a fact. You see someone and you're like, damn, you know this one. I have to talk to you, this person by the end of the
Yeah.
night or by the end of the day, and you know one thing leads to another. Unajipata mko-
What are we?
Well, what happened was,
Unajipata what are we?
what are
stage?
we? How the fuck did we get here?
Yeah,
But
it's how we was also describing it during our inaugural episode. Remember it?
Yes, that
Yeah.
was such a beautiful episode.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful-
Such a beautiful. Go listen to it. It's our intro episode. Yeah.
It was our intro episode. The sound is not really up to standard, but we
Give
had
me
to
one.
start from
Passion and fruit. Passion and mint.
the yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the sound wasn't really up to standard, but we had to start from somewhere. What was the second question? What is love? So a decision.
Mwambie nieke hapo. Please nieke hapo. Passion and mint.
A few
I've forgotten what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've also forgotten what we're
Imeenda.
Imeenda. Now, none of us have ever been married.
Thank God.
What?
Yeah, I mean, not
Okay,
now.
I don't
In
think...
retrospect, I mean, I'm not ready for marriage, not now. So I'm like, thank God. Child me first. Because I'm still a child. Child me first sounds like give me a child first.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
No, I mean like baby girl me first, please, because I'm a child. Child me first, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, it actually does.
Oh, it does. I'm sorry. I meant like because I'm a child. Child me first, like ni baby girl, ni child.
So, but I think that's a path that. By the way, I think people need to understand that whenever someone approaches you or you ask them about relationships, marriage, these, you have to understand that these are personal decisions to people. Very personal decisions to people.
It's like asking me how much I pay for my rent. Like, why would I even tell you that, honestly? Unless I know you like
that's
that.
kind of light. See,
It's very... Wacha nikisho mbona ni personal. Mtu anakugauge na kenye unalipa for rent.
Okay, that's different. You get. So them being personal
Unaishi
decisions.
wapi? Okay, yeah.
Napa nyumba ni ngapi?
As in...
Na hii nyumba ni ngapi?
How much do you pay for rent? Excuse me, as who? Someone who wants to pay my rent? Maybe. So because these are personal decisions, there is no way you can ever impose your ideas on somebody else. Just because you don't want these things, or actually, let me just say, want to be in a marriage, in a relationship, have kids, and not. You cannot impose your ideas on somebody else to not pursue that. The most you can do is ask them why they choose that path.
I think they would also appreciate the fact that you asked
why
you chose this
why
path.
did you choose? Yeah.
And the reasons may vary. There's no one right reason.
I mean, yeah.
Reasons vary from... Kuna beshi yangu nishaimuuliza, why did you get married? Akaniambia yeye anataka kubreak generational curses. From his side, he's brought up by a single mom.
Okay.
You see? And his uncles were not forthcoming people in terms of like being in healthy relationships, in healthy marriages and whatnot. So even when he was getting into this relationship, alikuwa ameambia dem yake, now the wife, that tukiingia hapa tunaingia na papa. Like, kuna vitu lazima tutafanya pamoja, si ati zile zitakuwa lavidavi kila saa. Because
as it should be.
Yeah, as it should be, because people usually overlook the fact that that's not life. Living lovey-dovey all the time is not life.
Yeah.
Life is everything that happens in between. In that lovey-dovey.
In fact, a relationship is everything that happens in between the lovey-dovey moments. The
lovey-dovey, the intimacy, the nini. Will you be able to stomach the things that are in between? In between the lines, you know?
That's why I insist. You guys need to be friends. I'm not saying that you were friends with that person for 10 years. You can meet this person and you're friends with them almost immediately. Like your chemistry is just, you guys are in sync. So be friends with that person. One, because it's not all sunshine and flowers. It's hectic.
Ngoja ile siku yenye utaona amejam.
Sikuwa ready.
Haukuwa ready? Must do that facial expression.
Oh, just...
I like baby girl vibes.
No, okay, wait. Correction. I've seen him angry in other situations, not like at me. Yeah. Also, I was not ready. Sasa when he's angry at me, hey, Nahama. Okay, see, ati tunaishi pamoja. But you get my point. Nahama.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah. You sort of feel like you've caved in, like, oh shit, I might be fucking this up.
What the fuck? Yeah.
But kama uko in a position yenye mnezelewana, like, I personally have like one of the principles yenye niko nazo ni like around arguments. Arguments just can't be haphazard. You need to come with decorum.
Yeah. Usinishautie, usinirushie vyombo.
Don't raise your voice.
If you want to walk away, please tell me you're walking away. Coconut. It's hard too close to home.
Yeah. The post-nut conversations.
Yes. If you're walking away, please tell me you're walking away. I'll be like, I want
Tell me
to
where
walk
you're
away.
going.
No, I'm saying I'm leaving. Okay, yeah, where you're
Tell
going.
me
I'm
where you're
leaving.
going.
I'm
It's
going
not
to
like
the
I don't
house
give a fuck. You know,
because I'm not ready to have this conversation right now, and I feel like it's headed south. So
yeah, me,
find
I'm
me in the
out
house
for-
later where you continue drinking your beers.
You
Thanks.
continue doing your thing. Na
Yeah.
unajua mtu akisema anataka that space.
They need it.
They
Let
need
me
it.
not lie. They
Just
need
give
it
it to them.
because utarusha hizo vyombo.
Shows of vyombo kishindo umeinsist hapo hivi.
Insist on it.
And now
For me,
it's
the apple
a
juice,
juice.
pineapple juice.
It's the
Yeah,
pineapple
it's a pineapple juice.
Because you have actually spoken about what your things are, what your principles are for, like what are the rules of the game when it gets rough.
Uh-huh.
Ems maze.
I swear to God, I've been letting you use two other words. But yeah,
What
when
are
it
the
gets
rules
rough.
when it gets rough, what are the
Oink.
rules of the game? Like I have personal rules that may not apply to somebody else. Kuna watu wenye huwa wanaweza kucommunicate because they have raised their voice. I don't appreciate that because it's something that came up from my past that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Like being shouted at by maybe teachers, fellow whoever
Students, your
was
colleagues,
close
even
to
folks,
me,
your
basically,
aunties,
even
whoever.
folks, aunties, name it, whoever was close to me. Me, I don't appreciate when someone raises their voice at
Yeah.
me. I don't appreciate using insults. You know, unajua kuna time yenye unaweza kamse kwa kona anze kukutusi juu anajua hapo ndio where your sweet spot, should I say your soft spot iko.
But you see, as in how?
Like fuck you, we share,
Okay.
bitch. Like these things, they may seem
Like,
light
it's
when
a-
you're saying them right now, but
yeah,
in the moment of
the argument, the heated argument.
in the moment of the heated argument, you have to realize that that's when your relationship is at
Yeah,
its
it's
most
big.
vulnerable
Yeah.
point. So when you start adding insult to injury, the conversation quickly switches to why the fuck are you insulting me?
Yeah.
You get? This has nothing to do with what we are talking about. Unani insult ya nini? Naget. Unanikosea
You're
heshima ya
locomoting
nini?
too fast. Yeah. It's a bit too fast.
Yeah, you're locomoting too fast.
Gosh.
Yeah, so it should always be a safe space. Who unaweza kuwa umejam, mimi naweza kuwa
Sorry.
nimejam. It should always be a safe space for the conversation to happen because you guys allowed each other into each other's space.
I was going to say that.
You know.
By the time I'm allowing you to my space, it means I trust you a lot.
Yes.
I trust you with who I am, my vulnerability, my
Insecurities. Name them.
you name it. Just tell me you remember that song.
No, I don't.
Unajua? I'm telling you, this baby nine. Hey,
Hii ni
best
ngoma
is
gani?
my best. It's look where Thanksgiving. Some old black mama. You name it. Yes, if you don't get it, forget about it. Forget about it. Yeah. Let me ask you something. Sorry to bring this up now because have you ever been in a situationship?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
Yes, I have.
Oh. Okay.
Why I seemed composed. No, I'm a fuck up.
Use any other word, just not composed.
Everybody's a fuck up.
Why? Like why?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah. Imagine
Why
I've
was
thought
I
about
in
mine.
that situationship?
Yeah. Why did you choose a situationship? Because I'm certain you had the option of being there or not, or even having or being in a relationship.
The human in me took over. I wanted to feel something. It was after a nasty breakup, and I was like, if a shot of something is not working for you, take 10 shots.
Yeah.
And I decided to take 10 shots.
The 8 shots. Yeah.
Yeah. I decided to take 10 shots of this person.
Okay. Sorry.
Of course, it did not end well.
Premium tiers? Both parties?
Both parties premium tiers.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah. But we later on talked about it. Okay, we were in these positions in our lives.
Yeah.
In these situations in our lives. Now at the time we were hooking up, getting together, we were not in a good place to be where we were, what we were trying to do. With what we were trying to do. So we are friends but si ile ya kukoliana kila siku. Like hiyo story,
Boundaries.
Boundaries.
Yeah,
Hiyo story
boundaries.
iliishia hapo hivi. You get like we are good. We are cool.
It's easy. You live your life, I live mine. But if you need help, just not every day you can call me up.
Just not every day you can call me up.
If it's an actual emergency, let me know.
Let me know.
Hapana, mimi sina hiyo. If it's an actually
Okay, maybe not actual emergency. You should have other contacts that are your emergencies.
please.
Like I should be your last option. Nasi ati ndakosa ku come through. Somebody's at the door. That can be Gapo.
Hodi, he'd probably call. But your phone is off.
Pause. I can't even remember where we were at. Man,
Situationships.
hii podcast imekuwa na so many interruptions, but we'll try and make it flow. So ukiona tumekatiza hapa na pale, just
Enda na flow.
just end on a flow. So situationships have been in, I think the most recent one ndio yenye naweza kumbuka, because that was the most impactful one of my long life that I have lived. Mostly because I experienced it as a grown-up. It's different when you kind of know what the emotions that you're going through are.
Yes.
Ukiwa young and hapo hivi, you're not sure, like
Unaenda na flow.
unaenda tu na
Unaenda tu
flow.
na flow. Like,
Yeah.
kumbe this is what happens.
But when you know there are like
There are
real
options.
risks of pregnancy, but you're still fucking the way you want.
Yeah.
That's different.
It's hectic.
Keys.
Tabaki tu hapo.
That's different. So yeah. Should I ask the same question?
Yeah,
Have you been in a situation?
I have been. Very recent one. You know about it.
Very recent one. I feel like you need to refresh my memory. Not right now though.
Yeah, not now. But you do know.
Okay. Now since we're
here.
Why is there so much drilling? Since we're here,
Yeah.
I think the theme of this podcast has not really been about telling the story itself.
It's about what you got from it.
Yeah, what you got from it. Kila mtu amepitia situationships at some point. If you're listening to this podcast and we know the age group
You
of
probably
you guys,
have. We know it.
you know,
been in
like
one.
majority of the age group of you guys who listen to us have been in a
Yeah.
situationship one way or another.
One, men are trash.
Gosh.
Okay, I say that very cautiously because not all men. Okay, the person I was with at that point in time was bottom of the fucking barrel. Live your life. Live your life unapologetically. Like own it. As I said previously,
Okay, that's-
if I told you I have plans with my friends today, respect that. Tiati, you tell me niko kwa gate. Of course, somehow I'll want to end up with you because, but boundaries, guys.
But actually, I think you've said something very interesting. Live your life.
Very much so.
Sometimes you don't have to make the right decision. Sometimes you just have to learn from
You have
the
to
decision
learn.
that you're making.
Yeah, that's something else I was going to mention.
Yeah.
Like you've had the stories, you've had what your friends have gone through, but somehow you need to learn
You need to
by
fuck up in your
yourself
own way.
so that you learn. Because how many times was I told? But yeah, you literally have to
Huku
learn.
inaingia huku
when you-
inatokea huku. You know, when you have something to refer to in
ni
there.
kama venye Kim alikuwa anapea Kanye advice. Kim anampea advice Kanye asikizi. So yeah,
Deuces.
gang, bro. Gang. But yeah, just communicate. Because if it's a situationship, you both have expectations. Unfortunately, you both have expectations, but are you ready to meet them?
Yeah. That's an important question.
Yeah, very
Are
important
you ready
question.
to
Are
meet
you
these
ready?
expectations?
And do you know what meeting them comes with?
Meeting who?
Meeting the expectations. Catch on.
Oh,
Catch on.
I'm
Like
like,
meeting the expectations means, if you do this time, of course I'm going to expect you to do better next time.
well, I don't think I actually.
I
I
mean,
think I think I touched on your topic. Yeah, like what is enough. When I was referring to the psychology of money.
mhm.
So having enough uh, means that you do not have to have it all, right? Do you have enough food for the day? Do you have enough money for rent for the month? Can you get around? Do you have
Yeah.
now? Even if now those are bare minimums, right? Now let's go to the high end of maybe you're a billionaire in dollars. You get.
Yes, please. Yes.
And you have that cash in the bank. I know most billionaires don't have that cash in the bank. They're just like paper billionaires or
Monetary,
something.
yeah. I mean, not monetary, land and stuff.
It could
Yeah.
be assets or it could be
I
shares
was trying to look for
and
that word and it
whatnot.
was not coming. Yeah.
But um, if you keep running for chasing after something you do not have while risking what you have, you'll end up finding something that you do not need and have lost something that you already had. I don't know if that makes sense.
It does.
That's kind of one of the reasons
It
that
does.
we sort of run for something like a situationship,
Yeah.
right? We risk it all for something that might not go that far
Let
in
me
the
not
first
lie.
place.
I'll give a reason as to why I got into that particular situationship. One, I wanted the benefits of a relationship, but I didn't want to be in a relationship because I knew I was not ready for a relationship and what it comes with the demands. Because a relationship has so many demands. You have to compromise. You have to be there for the person. You have to, we go so on and so forth. But a situationship, we're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
And, but then it gets fucked up when emotions start doing the thing. It's like,
Easy chemicals zenza kumix kwa brain.
tomato, as in, simbaki huko, where you're meant to be. That's why it becomes hectic. Because I feel like situationships can be managed up to a certain time.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's going to get fucked up. It's going to get messy.
It'll run away from your fingers.
Yeah. Slip away.
Slip away.
Run away from your fingers.
Now, there's something I think you mentioned it twice about compromise. I tend not to
Compromise?
be a subscriber to the idea that I have to compromise so much in a relationship.
Not so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Because of by the time you're getting to a point where you're compromising, your partner
Also,
also
what are
needs
you
to
compromising?
understand exactly.
Yeah.
They also need to understand your limits,
Yeah.
right? Isikuwe na compromise
Hata fuliza wako na
everything.
limits.
Hata fuliza wako na limits. Hata mshore.
Mazee yangu kila kitu iko na limit. Like why didn't you have a
Ask
limit?
us, we know.
We know. Hey. We know. Yeah.
So how far are you willing to compromise for your person, depending on what you've spoken about in the past? Because unaweza end up kupush msee, you are wondering why that you can't connect to them emotionally anymore. It's because you've been draining them.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, yes.
It's because you've been draining them. Because maybe anakuambia this is how far I can go, but you want them
But
to
you
go
want
farther.
more. You want
more.
more from
So you have to
them.
understand the concept of having enough.
And also giving enough.
And also giving enough.
From that perspective. Like, how much can you give? Like how far can you go? To accommodate this person, to make them, feel better about themselves. Because sometimes we need that kind of reassurance, the words of affirmation, blah blah blah. And how much can I go for them to make them feel good about themselves?
And also it also has to be enough for them.
Yes.
Yes.
Because utakuwa na limit if it's not enough for them.
Utakuwa na limit.
Yeah.
They'll drain you to the fucking ground.
And humans out here, they don't even have mercy. They don't.
We go hard. Go hard.
That's what he said. Yeah. It was right there. I promise it was right.
Emma.
It's not me. It's the juice.
It's the juice.
The juice. I don't know what you guys put in this juice, but yeah.
Yeah. A drop of
Ginger. So much for ginger.
ginger. It actually has ginger. So, episode 7.
Yeah, I feel like, to be very honest, I have to cut this short because nimeanza kuwa a bit robust. And if I continue, I'm going to choma for days.
But yeah, lighter. Chome kabisa.
What is that? What is that?
But all in all, I think what people should be striving to, like, this is a personal opinion. What people should strive for when getting into a relationship is having a healthy one in the first place.
My exact words, like in my head, I was going to say like healthy relationships.
Now,
Not about to be toxic, because toxicity it's like we've not healed as a generation. We have so much that we've gone through that we want to exhibit it. And we want to put onto the other person or in the relationship, and we're not ready for the consequences.
yeah, deal with
We
yourself
want a good
first.
time, unfortunately. We're here for
Yeah.
a good time, not a long time. But that's not the motive for everything. It's just a motive when you're going out.
You realize you've referenced like 2 of Drake's lyrics
I'm
from
aware.
different
Very
songs.
much aware. And I wish it was J. Cole.
Yeah.
But we move regardless. Yeah.
So aim for, I think for me, my takeaway, if you were asked to ask
Healthy
me about
relationships.
like relationships, just aim for a healthy one.
A healthy one and a happy one.
A healthy one will end up being
Happy,
like a happy
joyous.
relationship. You know, so
And be friends with your person.
be friends with your
I don't
person.
mean
like
that,
in
again, I
between.
repeat, you don't have to be friends from like 30 years ago. Just be friends with that person. Because so much will be easier
Yeah, because
at that point in time.
yeah, and in between. Remember the spaces
the in between
in
is
between fucking, kissing, dates.
yeah, like
When the things
so
are-
much happens in
Yeah.
between, like the nitty-gritties, because something may happen before you guys start having bad manners that will trigger.
I was still calling it bad
It's
manners,
bad manners.
on the post-nut conversations.
Okay, before you, I'm shy. Before you guys start having bad manners, that will trigger the babe or the guy. So you guys have to address it either before or after. So how are you going to pick up the momentum after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been
The post-nut conversation.
This has been episode 7 of the post-nut conversation, season 1.
It's been a while since I did this. So high-key, I'm not going to listen to this one. I'm going to listen. I'll listen to the others.
Utaenda kuzibinge, ngoja tumalize hii season.
Hey, zote. I'll listen to after this. But then imagine, yeah, after this season, I'll listen to all of them.
So please subscribe.
Yes.
We'll
share with your human beings.
share with your human beings. We'll be dropping our episodes during our
Wednesday
regular
at
scheduling.
11 a.m.
Wednesday.
Because you have nothing better to do in the office. It's us guys.
Yeah,
Sounds
just
so
us
wrong,
guys.
but yeah, listen
Today's
to
a
us, guys.
weekday. I have
It's a
Slack
weekend.
notifications waiting for me.
It's a weekend.
It's a weekend. It's a weekend somewhere.
Yeah, it's a
somewhere in
weekend.
the, somewhere in the universe.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yes, guys. Oh my God. You know, honestly, after that human being told me he's listening to this, I was like, nope. Anxiety.
Your human told you that.
Not my human.
Oh,
I was like, hey, pressure. Umekuja sana. Umekuja.
ni sawa, wacha wasikize wachanuke pia.
It's
Kuna knowledge ya
imagine
kushare yenye iko
tunakwanga wise.
yenye iko beyond your professional expertise, so wacha pia
Si
watambue.
kuuza pekee.
So
It's been nice though.
subscribe,
Yeah.
donate, share, follow us on Insta, ask us any question that you wanna
Tweet
know.
as well. Yeah.
I'll probably be handling. Okay, I will be.
He's always handling. I don't know.
I'm
I say
always
probably,
handling
yeah.
the
He's
social
handling the
media side of things.
Yeah.
So
I'm here for the face and the voice. Cap.
no cap.
No cap. Like full stop.
So we gotta sign out. See you on the next episode.
Adios, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. Let us know what you think about it. Yeah. Bye. Outro.
Goodbye.
I'm too buzzed to even do that.